Transformative is a series of short films that try and explain the history of fashion photography as seen from the perspective of the stylist, the makeup artist and the hairdresser. Because it is a super important time in a day in a shooting day, that the time the model spends with the hairdresser.
Yeah.
Because you're touching her
We're
for
also prepping her for you.
I'm absolutely aware of that.
Really,
Yeah, no, I'm aware of the psychology that goes on. So I
know.
get somebody in a fantastic, sort of enthusiastic condition. I've worked with some people, and they're very skilled, but they get the person, they're kind of like they've been in the chair for 3 hours, and they don't know where they are anymore. So I absolutely appreciate and I'm aware of the kind of the preparation, the mental preparation that goes on. But it must not always be easy. There must be people who are difficult to work with, or people who are.
I would say that normally the people are fantastic.
Yeah.
But the publicist is the person that's tricky.
Right.
Mainly, and I think as well. I think if people feel that you're really into what you're doing and that you want to make them look amazing.
Yeah.
And that you care about the way they look. Generally, I think it's not that hard. It's just if someone's probably having a really bad day, or something, then that can become hard. But I don't really find dealing with people or actresses or models particularly hard.
Yeah.
I actually like them.
Yeah.
So for me, I really enjoy that. I mean, who can say that they've spent like 2 days with Kate Blanchett? It's like amazing, really bright woman, hysterical, and really lovely. I mean, we're kind of lucky, really.
Yeah. Okay, we should move on. Mm-hmm. Let me put up another image for you. Okay, so appropriately. Tell me about this image, please.
Well, that was really a very interesting shoot because Bjork, it's Bjork, and it's the Biophilia album cover with Inez and Vinoodh, Matadan, and interesting enough, that was one of my very first jobs that I did when I moved to New York.
Right.
And she was fixated by these, Bjork was fixated by these kind of like Hollywood redheads.
Really?
Yes.
Right.
And I kind of listened to the album, and the concept behind the album. You obviously know the concept behind the album is that you can create music on your iPad with various shapes and stars. And to me, it felt I just got this feeling of kind of like lightness and this kind of astral kind of feeling, and this feeling of like zero gravity, right, when I actually listened to it. Yeah. And we were talking about it, and I was just like, I really like the idea of red hair, but I think you need to feel you like when I listen to this, you're like your head's in the clouds. Yeah. And I actually want to make your hair look like a cloud. Right. And she went, that's a really great idea. So I mean, that's really kind of where we started to build these kind of opulent, round, kind of soft, airy, light, frizzy shapes.
And this is working with Bjork or working with Inez and Vinoodh as well? Who are you having this conversation with?
I think Inez and Vinoodh had a conversation before. I think they've been talking about it for months, and I've kind of worked with Bjork throughout my career, to be really honest with you, for probably 20 years, or maybe even more. Yeah. And I just love the feeling that she has this really very abstract way of thinking. Yeah. That's definitely not the norm. But I love the fact that she's really comfortable with it. Yeah. And I also love the fact that she has a sense of faith in the people that she works with. Yeah. I think she kind of like likes to let people play, because I think she enjoys the process just as much as the creatives.
Yeah.
And I think if you understand where she's coming from, I think it can be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
You
So
know?
I noticed working with her the last couple of days with you, you're quite cheeky to her.
I really like her. She's great.
But you're quite. I noticed that you're quite. Cheeky. You sort of tease her.
I'm like, yeah.
And you say, is that because that's maybe just how you are with Bjork? But is that how you are with most models?
No.
Right.
Not really. I just I really love Bjork.
Yeah.
And I guess we kind of have a similar sense of humour.
Yeah.
But I think that's probably because I've known her for so long.
Yeah.
You know, that I am cheeky. I didn't think I was being cheeky, but obviously. But I just
tease her.
I do tease her, but that's because I like her a lot.
Yeah.
You know, and I don't really tease a lot of people.
But so is your manner different with different models? So are you different with Linda Evangelista than you are with Giselle?
I think you know, being doing what we do, we work with people all the time, and I guess that there's also a psychology involved in the way we work. Well, there definitely is, and I think I work quite instinctively.
Yeah.
And I pick up on people's feelings, on their energy, how they are, their body language. You know, I just pick up on that, because that's something that you're trained to do when you speak to an audience, which is what I used to do. When you have a client in the chair, you spend like an hour with them.
Yeah.
And they could be a complete stranger. So we're kind of like lucky enough to be able to spend time with people, because not a lot of people actually spend time with people unless they're introduced to them.
No, sure.
You know, whereas for me, I guess that's it. But I am cheeky with Bjork, but that's purely because I like her, and she's like very fun-loving, very spirited, eccentric human being, and I love that. You know.
But your the way you work hair. Often is quite extreme, and this is obviously Bjork, and Bjork is, you know, her parameters are much larger than a lot of people. But do you often find that people are trying to hold you back if you're sitting in front of us or standing in front of the mirror? Do you get sometimes you get a feeling that the person you're working with is frightened or
it's
conservative?
really weird. I mean, I kind of whenever I kind of go to a shoot, I always kind of research who I work with, and look at them. And look at the way that they probably look best, and try and understand their level of taste through the images I look at. Of, you know, the images of them, or the image that the photographer took, or a makeup artist. Like I really do a lot of research, because I just like to kind of find out where I am. You know. And also, I think it's just really important to kind of familiarise yourself with people that you work with, because I think it's a matter of it's also about respect as well. You know, respecting what someone does, trying to understand what they do, and seeing where you can fit into the picture. I never go into a shoot and I think I'm going to do that. Never, ever.
Right. Really?
No, I don't, and that's totally not how I work at all. I'll just think about 5 or 6 or 7 or 8 or 10 options that I think can work, and just bring the equipment and the pieces to do those things. But if no one really wants that, I don't really see the point of trying to push that. And I always think that you have to make the person comfortable with the way they look.
But you're pushing them quite far edgewise. It's not. It's not you're just making them look. But
sometimes a little. I guess sometimes a little kind of something that's a little challenging. Is a good thing as well, because you're kind of pushing someone forward. But I kind of take very, very gentle steps to kind of get there, as you know, because you've worked with me for quite a while. I'll take kind of like gentle steps just to see if something can go down an avenue that I feel, but I never ever go, I'm sorry, I'm not doing that, because you know, just not in my nature.